let me tell you a story. This is the story of a 20-year-old king who almost conquered half the world. And he was able to do this because of the authority with which he led his troops. His name was Alexander, but he only became Alexander the Great because his troops trusted him enough to go into battles which were considered impossible to win. And this got me thinking, what makes someone authoritative? Why are some people respected in rooms while others are completely ignored? And how can you build authority in your pitches and meetings by learning from this? After studying and coaching 100 plus leaders, here is what I found. Anyone can become authoritative if you know the 5 golden keys to authority. And it has nothing to do with your age, the money in your bank account, or your social status. Let's break it down in this video. The first thing that really matters is how you move. Let's imagine 2 people are in front of you. One of them is pacing around, using a lot of hand gestures. There's so much visual clutter. And the other person is grounded, calm, slow. Who do you think is more authoritative? I am willing to bet it is the second person. Why? Because too much movement gives other people anxiety, but controlled movement is what creates authority. So whenever you think of authority, think about slow movement. In fact, something I like to follow is the swimming pool rule, where imagine yourself moving around in a swimming pool. The pace at which you would move is the pace I want you to use with your hand gestures. So instead of doing this, slow down. The next thing to notice is how you sound. Authority does not mean speaking louder. It means controlling your pitch. So if you're someone who ends your sentences on a higher pitch, then it can make you sound uncredible and unsure. Like, look at the difference. I want this report done by Friday versus I want this report done by Friday. The second version was much more authoritative because our brain perceives using a deeper voice as something serious going on and something important. So whenever you want to look friendly and inviting, you can definitely raise the pitch of your voice. And whenever you need people to take you seriously, that is where you lower your pitch. But lowering your pitch does not mean speaking like this and forcing yourself to speak in a deep voice, because that can really harm your vocal cords. So whatever lower pitch is there in your natural scale, it's best to stick to that. The third golden key to building authority is how you dress. And dressing well does not mean going and buying a $1,000 suit. It is the little things and the effort you put into dressing which is priceless. And for some context, this is how I used to dress a few years ago, and this is how I dress now. And the only things I changed was I started polishing my shoes. I started buying the right colors for my skin tone and the right fit. I made sure to get a haircut now and then. And I also accompanied a nice smelling perfume that made me feel confident. So all these tiny changes are going to make a huge difference in the way people perceive you whenever you walk into a room without you even saying a single word. So dress the way you would if you were meeting the love of your life for the first time. The fourth element to building authority is clarity in your ideas. If Alexander would have told his soldiers that I need a SWOT report of all the neighboring kingdoms around me, the soldiers would have been like, what? Instead of that, he told them to look and make sure that nobody is attacking the kingdom. It's all about simplicity. So right now, if you're using a lot of jargon, a lot of numbers to impress your audience, they are not going to get impressed. Why? Because facts and figures add something called cognitive load within the audience, which is the time people take to process your information and decode your message. So the lesser cognitive load you are able to put on your audience, whether it's through interesting stories or personal experiences, your audience is going to enjoy listening to you and also follow your orders. Basically, people don't want to feel stupid, and when you make them feel stupid, they zone out. And the last authority building secret is how you think. If you think that you have to pretend to be authoritative and nobody is listening to you, then people are going to see right through you. So I want you to do this simple exercise with me. Take a notebook and write down all the negative thoughts that are currently going on in your head. And then ask yourself, whose voice is this? It could be the voice of a teacher, a parent, a friend, a relative. Somebody around you has instilled this belief within you. And the moment you figure out whose voice this is, it starts to lose power over you because you realize it's not your own thought. It is somebody else's thought, and you don't have to carry it for the rest of your life. But the biggest mistake that most senior professionals make is they assume the worst case scenario whenever they walk into a room and try to build authority. So if that is you, then I want you to do this simple exercise called identity shifting. I want you to close your eyes and visualize a person in your head whose confidence and authority you really, really admire. For the next couple of hours, I want you to take their identity. That means you will behave like them, you will respond like them, and you will take all the traits that they possess and start to identify with it. Have that picture in your head and transform for a couple of hours. This exercise is really simple, but it will help you get rid of the preconceived notions and biases that you currently possess. And of course, if you're someone who wants to work on communicating with authority, then book a call with me and let's help you get to that goal.